Welcome back to Deep Dive. Today, we're going to journey back, way back to ancient philosophy, but trust me, it's incredibly relevant for navigating life right now.
Right.
We're talking Stoicism, specifically through the lens of Epictetus. Now, some of you might know him, former slave, became this really prominent philosopher. And the thing about his teachings is they're so practical, not just theory. So our mission today, to kind of pull out the key Stoic principles from Epictetus that can genuinely help you build that inner strength, that composure,
Exactly. And that's why this stuff isn't just history. It's real guidance for today's world, which, let's face it, is fast, often stressful, full of uncertainty. Stoicism offers this anchor, helps you ground yourself when everything feels a bit chaotic.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Let's dive into the first, the really foundational idea from Epictetus. Right at the heart of it all is this idea, this core concept of figuring out what you can control versus what you just can't. It sounds simple enough, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. But the implications are actually huge.
Oh, they really are. It's often called the dichotomy of control. And it's not really about just, passively letting go. It's more like a strategic look at where your actual power is. So your thoughts, your judgments, how you choose to respond to things, that's your domain. That's what you control. But external stuff, what happens in the world, what other people think or do, even the final results of your best efforts, that's outside your control zone. And the real kicker here, the insight, is knowing that even when things outside are completely nuts, your judgment about it, and therefore your inner peace, that stays in your control. Like, you can pour everything into a project, right? Your effort, your attitude, totally control that. But whether the client loves it or how the market reacts, nope, not yours to command. So the Stoic move is to focus all that energy on your part, the effort, the approach, not the outcome you can't ultimately influence.
Yeah, and that shift in focus, that reframing, it's incredibly powerful. Because when you really get that, it gives you this sense of empowerment, doesn't it? You realize the real struggle isn't necessarily out there, it's often in your own head. And it just cuts out so much wasted energy agonizing over things you couldn't change anyway. Less stress, more clarity. Okay, so once you kind of grasp that internal control, the next step seems to be, well, how do you handle your emotions? Stoicism has tools for that too, right? It's not about just bottling them up.
Exactly, not suppression. It's about resilience, building emotional resilience through essentially rational thinking. It's like you're encouraged to kind of cross-examine your own initial reactions, to find and challenge those, irrational beliefs that are usually the real source of the upset, like putting your gut feelings on trial for a second. And a key technique is reframing, not just, think positive, but really looking at a setback differently. Is it a total failure? Or is it maybe data? An opportunity to learn something, to adjust. That shift helps build a much more adaptable mindset. And the Stoics really stress staying calm because they believed our reactions define our experience more than the events themselves. It lets you respond thoughtfully, not just impulsively.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me, and it feels, almost radical today. This concept of amor fati, loving your fate.
Amor fati. Yeah, it's not just putting up with things. It's a much more active embrace. It's this principle that encourages you to welcome everything that happens, good, bad, the totally unexpected stuff. See it all as like necessary parts of your unique story. So you're not just enduring your circumstances passively. You're actively, maybe even joyfully affirming them, saying yes to reality. And the payoff, well, by embracing what is, you kind of dissolve that internal friction, that resistance that causes so much anxiety. It's freedom from constantly fighting what's already happened or happening. Think of someone like Marcus Aurelius, emperor, right? Faced plague, war, political chaos, immense challenges. Yet you read his meditations and you see someone finding peace, finding purpose, not despite it all, but almost through it all, viewing every obstacle as a chance to practice virtue.
That's such a powerful link. Accepting what is and then asking, okay, how do I act virtuously within this? Which leads us perfectly into the next point.
Yeah.
The Stoic idea that virtue is the only real good.
Yes, precisely. For Stoics, virtue isn't just a good thing, it's the highest good. The only thing that's truly good in and of itself. And they usually break it down into 4 core virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance or moderation. These aren't just nice ideas, They're meant to be your compass, guiding every action, every decision, helping you live in line with your rational nature. And crucially, they saw these virtues as interconnected. Like, true courage isn't just being reckless. It needs wisdom to guide it, right? Justice involves understanding your place in the wider human community. When you cultivate these, genuine happiness follows, but it's a happiness that doesn't depend on whether you got the promotion or if the sun's shining. It's internal, a result of living well. Plus, this focus on ethical action, it doesn't just boost your own well-being, it contributes positively to others, to society, it gives you purpose, integrity.
It's amazing how much these ancient ideas connect with things we talk about constantly now, like mindfulness. Epictetus was basically telling people to be present, wasn't he?
Absolutely. Deep awareness, deep presence. That's inherent in Stoicism. Paying attention to your thoughts, your actions, being fully here in your daily life, now, without judgment. And the techniques are often really simple, things you can do anytime, like just focusing on your breath for a moment, or really listening in a conversation, giving your full attention, or even just taking a second to feel grateful for something right now. It's about making the ordinary moments count, actually savoring your lunch instead of scrolling your phone, or taking a walk and really noticing things around you.
Grounding yourself.
Exactly. And doing that, living more in the present, it really cuts down on the anxiety about what might happen or regrets about what did happen, leads to more resilience, more contentment right here.
And it's not purely an individual journey either, is it?
Yeah.
Stoicism seems to have a strong sense of community or connections with others.
Oh, definitely. It's not a philosophy of withdrawal. It strongly advocates for positive social interaction. Those virtues we mentioned, justice, kindness, cooperation, they're key to how we relate to others. They believed in something called cosmopolitanism, this idea that we're all citizens of the world, fundamentally connected. So cultivating empathy, really trying to understand where other people are coming from, that's vital. Things like active listening, showing compassion, these aren't just nice to haves, they're essential for building strong relationships. And having supportive communities, people you can share things with, the good and the bad, that's seen as crucial for growth and resilience. Our well-being is tied up with others.
Okay, this next one sounds a bit heavy maybe at first glance. Premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Sounds kind of gloomy.
Yeah, it can sound that way, but it's actually incredibly practical and empowering. It's not about dwelling on the negative or being pessimistic. It's more like a mental rehearsal. You consciously think about potential difficulties, challenges you might face down the line. And by doing that, by contemplating what could go wrong ahead of time, you actually lessen its emotional punch if it does happen. You've sort of pre-processed it.
So you're not caught completely off guard.
Exactly. The steps are pretty straightforward. You visualize possible setbacks, maybe think about how you'd cope, reflect on similar challenges you've overcome before, identify where you might be vulnerable. It's like building up your mental defenses, your resilience. It helps you face life's inevitable bumps with more ease, makes the unknown feel less threatening, more like just part of life you can prepare for.
Right. Okay, so to bring these principles together, let's talk about gratitude. Seems like a really crucial piece of the Stoic puzzle.
It absolutely is. Gratitude fits so perfectly with Stoicism because it shifts your focus to appreciating what you do have right now instead of always wanting what you don't. It's about recognizing the value in your present situation, your relationships, even the lessons learned from challenges. It moves your perspective from scarcity to abundance. And cultivating it can be simple. Keeping a gratitude journal, just jotting down a few things each day, or just taking a moment to reflect on something positive, however small. This isn't just about feeling nice, it fundamentally reframes how you see things. You start viewing obstacles less as roadblocks and more as maybe opportunities for growth, for practicing resilience.
And that perspective shift, that gratitude, it just enhances everything, doesn't it? Your well-being, your ability to bounce back, makes the whole experience of living feel richer, more fulfilling. So let's try and wrap this up. What does this all mean for you listening right now? We've covered a lot from Epictetus, that core idea of control what's yours, what isn't, building emotional resilience through clear thinking, that radical acceptance, the amor fati, pursuing virtue as the real goal, being present, mindful, connecting with others, community, preparing for adversity with that premeditatio malorum, and finally, the huge power of gratitude.
Yeah, and each one of these is like a tool, a lens you can use. You don't have to master them all overnight. But even just consciously working with one or two of these ideas in your daily life, it can make a real difference. Build resilience, foster gratitude, create a more robustly positive outlook, helps you handle the ups and downs with a bit more grace, more fulfillment. So maybe here's something to think about for you to explore. What if you picked just one of these principles, say the dichotomy of control or maybe gratitude, and you really focused on applying it just for one day, especially when you face a common challenge, something that usually throws you off? How might consciously applying that one principle change how you experience that challenge? How might it shift your perspective on it?
That's a fantastic challenge. Really makes you think about putting this into practice. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Epictetus and Stoicism. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep growing.